Yeah, I remember the 90s. 1995 on the internet, you'd be up all night and you'd only see half a boob.
Hello, Lisbon, and welcome to the Four Takes Movie Podcast. I'm Martin.
I'm Luke.
I'm David.
And I am Adam.
And today we're going to be talking about the 1995 movie Seven, directed by David Fincher. But before we go on, we always give you a little bit of a rundown of our week so far. And this week, we've had a bit of a belter. It's now, if you can believe it, the 40th anniversary of the movie Back to the Future. And I'm still older than it. But we decided, because their Odeon and some other cinemas, I'm sure, had released it in IMAX again. So I bought me and the lads tickets to go see it. And we also went with Colin, our previous guest star on the Jaws podcast, and my wife. And
You married to Colin?
that's it. He should be so lucky. But yeah, also my wife tagged along. And that movie in IMAX, even though it's a great movie, we all know we love it, and it's a proper fun movie. I enjoyed it so much more seeing it on that screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we are going to do a separate podcast about what it was like about Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot to take
So
away from it.
we're not going to give it anything away.
Yeah.
No, mind you, 40 years, if you haven't seen it yet, spoilers, tough shit. Anyone else seen anything else?
Well, I've obviously been having to witness Seven. Thanks, guys.
Adam loved it.
I don't know. Do you know it's a fantastic movie? But any before we crack on with Seven, which we will shortly. Anyone else seen anything else?
This is kind of related, but I've started watching Mindhunter, which is also a David Fincher, directed by David Fincher, and all about serial killers and detectives. And is it the CIA or the FBI?
So,
Is it
FBI.
about the people who started to profile the serial killers? Yeah.
It's all about how they come up with the term serial killer, because when this program said a serial killer wasn't a thing.
They're not calling it serial killer; they're calling it something else.
Spree killer or something.
So,
A spree killer is a
Oh,
thing,
it wasn't
isn't it? You've got
invented,
spree
was it?
killers,
No,
mass killers, and
The term wasn't invented for the serial killer in it.
they coined the term.
Yeah.
And I think it's based on a true story, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's based on like the true science about it all and how it all came about.
Mm-hmm.
How good, how accurate, if those people, those are the people or not, I'm not actually sure who were involved, but certainly the serial killers that they interview are all based on real serial killers.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't finished watching it yet. I told somebody at work about it, and they've watched all of it.
I've watched all of it.
On my recommendation, and they sat and watched it all with her husband. So she's ahead of me, but she said it was really, really good. The other character in it, the other agent, is the guy out of Fight Club. Do you know Project Mayhem?
yeah.
Yeah, he's like the army general. He's like he's the one who he's like the big guy.
I've not seen Mindhunters, so I'm not sure who you mean in regards to in Fight Club.
He's in lots of stuff. He's a very good actor.
I've got a funny feeling I know who you mean.
You'll recognise him.
Like thick set with like a flat top.
Yes, I know who you mean. He was in a film recently, I think.
McCallany.
Yes. He was in a film recently, I think, called The Amateur, with Rami Malek. But yeah, he's in loads of things, isn't he? He's always popping up. He's one of those actors. I'm not saying anything bad against him. He's one of those actors where you go, I know him, but what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a really good film I watched recently, and I think it's just come out. It's called Caught Stealing with Matt.
Yeah, it's a Darren
Matt
Aronofsky
Smith.
movie. Very good. I enjoyed that. Darker than I thought it was going to be, though.
The way in which the trailer portrays it, I thought of it more like a Grand Theft Auto from the 90s era, with sort of like the characters and the style. Zoe Kravitz as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's
Matt Smith in it.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith plays like a punk, and you've got Austin Butler as like the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Protagonist. There's many antagonists in this. Obviously, you've got the Vincent D'Onofrio and Liev Schreiber who play like the Jewish brothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it reminded me of like a Snatch, where you have all of these different groups of people, all like real like criminals, really.
But where was it set? Was it California?
No, it was set in New York.
Was it New York? Was it?
Yeah, he was from California.
Ah, right.
And he moved away from California because he had an accident.
Ah, that was right. Yeah.
We'll not give too much away. We're not discussing court stealing. One more before we move on to 7. I went to the cinema last night and saw that Begonia.
Oh yeah.
The new Yorgos Lanthimos movie.
Right.
He directed things like Poor Things and The Favourite. And
Is that the one where they last got a hair shaved?
Yes, Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Aye.
Yeah. That's a remake of a Korean movie I saw ages ago called Save the Green Planet. I do think this is I can't really remember a lot of that. I saw it when I was going through like a Japanese Korean phase when I was younger, when it came to watching movies. So I had loads of different I was really into sort of like Asian horror movies at one point. And this wasn't a horror movie. The Save the Green Planet is very much a black comedy. And this is kind of the same, to be honest. I thought Poor Things was fantastic, and I thought The Favourite was fantastic. But I think his last two, and I think he's got a lot of, the director's got a lot of like legs in regards to being able to do the projects he wants because of the success of those two movies. Mm-hmm. But then he did one called Kinds of Kindness, which was sort of 3 stories in one, and it was good. And this Begonia, I think, is good. But I think it's hard to follow those two fantastic movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
me and the missus are on Letterboxd, and I would say it was a 3.5, where I'd give Poor Things a 4.5, and I'd give the Favourite, I think, a 4.5 as well.
Out of 5.
Out of 5, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not out of 10. But yeah, it's worth a watch. Not as extreme, I would say, as some of his other movies. He's quite extreme in how he visualizes like sex, really, and stuff like that. So
did they do The Lobster as well?
Ew, do you know what? I'm not sure. Did he do The Lobster? I might be thinking of somebody. Is that the one with Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell's in it, and so was Rachel Weisz, and who else was in The Favourite? Plays the
Olivia Colman.
She was in The Lobster as well.
Oh well, it'll be Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that anyone sort of listening to us now that's tuned in, it is currently November the 5th this evening that we're recording this. So if anyone can hear gunshots in the background, that is the wonderful world of fireworks going off.
If anyone who isn't British, November the 5th is a bit of a...
Traditionally the date when we try and blow up our politicians.
Exactly, yeah. It's the day we celebrate a person trying to kill our government, and we burned him at the stake.
Yep. Did we
burn him, or did we hang him?
Apparently, they tried to execute him, but Fawkes managed to cheat the full penalty as he climbed a ladder to the gallows and jumped and slipped and broke his neck, dying instantly from the fall.
As we've said, the movie we're talking about today is 7, directed by David Fincher, came out in 1995, starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
You know, you guys let me believe this was it's Morgan Freeman. You know, it's God. He played God. How bad can it be? I'm sitting there thinking, this can't be that bad. You know, although I did remember hearing like hushed tones of it when I was younger about 7 and all the rest of it, and and I didn't realise how depraved that film really is. So, oh my God.
It's good word for it, Adam.
So Adam definitely didn't know that this was a psychological horror thriller. It is a very bleak movie. It's a great movie. I've actually got the first time I ever watched this was with you, Luke. Mm-hmm. You'd been on a date.
I had, yeah.
And he came to mine instead of going to your home, because you two probably would have pulled him apart for it, picked on him or something like that. So he came to mine.
Sounds about right.
With some sweets. And
from the cinema.
From the cinema, and then I just bought on VHS 7, and I'm not old enough to buy this, but I've got it.
I think I'd been to the cinema to see Beavis and Butthead.
Do America,
yeah.
Right.
My name is Con Julio. I need TP for my bunghole.
I thought when I saw The Ring, right, on a copied VHS tape at my friend's house, right, I believed that was possibly one of the worst films I'd ever seen. Until today.
Do you know what, mate? These are light movies. That if you think this is a bad movie, I've seen some horrendous shit. I'm going to introduce you to some horrific shit.
Adam, what you've got to remember as well is this is a Brad Pitt film. It's just good. Like this is popcorn movie.
This is a popcorn psychological thriller. This is mainstream light horror, mate. I'm gonna introduce you to some rotten stuff, mate. Right?
I mean, this is also Gwyneth Paltrow's best film.
This is easily Gwyneth Paltrow's best.
The work she did in that box was phenomenal. The best work she ever did.
But yeah, we watched that, and the first time I saw it, and I remember being blown away from it the first time I saw it. Really well structured, and even though it's deep in regards to what it's talking about, you know, the 7 deadly sins and the morality of all this crap this idiot or this fucking fanatic's trying to put out. But I really enjoyed it. It was easy to follow. It's not a hard film to follow. It moves along at pace.
Yeah.
It's
a very well structured movie.
It's a proper, well put together film, and I've probably seen it. I've probably seen it dozens of times since then, to be honest, and I've enjoyed it every time.
Certainly not boring.
It's not boring at all.
For the benefit of the listeners who haven't seen this, should I read the synopsis?
You go read the synopsis, mate.
Let's hear what the synopsis is. Can you do it in Morgan Freeman's voice, please?
Yeah, please do not. What I'm going to do, though, while you do that, is I'm going to take a good big gulp of this coffee.
Look, what you should do is there's got to be online an AI Morgan Freeman voice. You want to cut it in?
Okay. True detectives.
Okay, that's
Can I do it?
Or should we save that for when we do what's it called? The Morgan Freeman one where they escape prison.
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption, because he does the voiceover in that entire film.
I first met Andy Dufresne. Well, how can I do it? Anyway, right. Okay, so oh God, Eva.
Do the voice.
It's all I can hear now. 2 detectives, the weary veteran Somerset, Morgan Freeman, and the impulsive newcomer Mills, Brad Pitt, hunt a highly intelligent serial killer known as John Doe. The killer's gruesome murders are meticulously patterned after the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, pride, envy, and wrath. The dark and disturbing investigation reaches its shocking climax when Doe surrenders and leads the detectives to a remote location for the final 2 sins, culminating in a devastating twist that forces one of the detectives to become a participant in the killer's horrific sermon.
It's a good synopsis.
I'd rent that movie.
That's a really good synopsis.
I'd rent that movie. Yeah, so the way this movie starts, I think, lets you know what kind of movie you're in straight away. So the New Line logo comes up. I'm not going to go through the whole movie here, but I think the way it starts before like the initial title sequence kicks in kind of lets you know the bleak nature of this movie and what you're in for.
Yeah, the colour gradient and everything in the movie.
Well, even the sort of the use of rain throughout the entire movie as well. Yeah. So
do you know what it felt like?
The movie's go on.
Do you know DC? You know some of DC productions for the comics and stuff that they brought out, like the dark, like
this is Gotham but worse.
Yeah,
This is a worse version, and you never know the name of the city. They never tell you what city you're in or what state you're in or anything like that. You hear about how Detective Mills, David Mills, moved, and his wife Tracy moved in from upstate. You know, it's obviously a better life up there, a little bit easier. But yeah, you never know the name of the city. But yeah, the movie starts and there's no music, fanfare, or anything like that. The logo rolls in and you can kind of just hear like muffled voices, and then it's Morgan Freeman in his apartment, and he's putting his suit on, he's putting his tie on, he's sorting out his pockets, you know, he puts his wallet in his pockets.
He's meticulous.
And he's meticulous. You know, he's clean. He's cleaning things in his sink. All just like regular stuff. No like music over it. Just the sound of whatever he's doing.
Just everybody in the day job, really. Isn't it?
And then all of a sudden, it just immediately changes scene. And you're just immediately on a body on the floor with a pool of blood under it. Mm-hmm. And you can hear people talking about the situation. His wife, the neighbours heard them arguing. Two shots go off. Both barrels go off. And you know, then you work out that obviously it's a wife's killed his wife's killed her husband. There's a child involved because they mentioned that. Mm-hmm. At that point, you're then introduced to Mills, who's new to the scene. It's very quick, probably only 2 or 3 minutes. And then Morgan Freeman's back in his apartment and he's getting ready to go to bed. And he turns on that metronome to rock himself off to sleep. There's been no music at this point or anything like that. No backing track. And then he closes his eye, nods off. And then 9 Inch Nails comes in.
9 Inch Nails, yeah.
With Closer in a really quite disturbing opening sequence.
Yeah.
Even though you're not really seeing anyone's like any face, you see fingers messing with like notebooks and sewing things, and there's a little bit with a razor blade and a little bit of blood dropping and some disturbing imagery. And the use of 9 Inch Nails is Closer as well, where it's almost like an acoustic, not an acoustic, but like they've taken the lyrics out for most of it and only have one particular line at the end when it introduces the next day, which is Monday.
You bring me closer to God.
You bring me closer to God. Like that.
There's a piece of music in there as well, which is, it's a 9 Inch Nails remix of a David Bowie track called "The Heart's Filthy Lesson," I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's in there somewhere. It might be in the titles.
Is it the end titles is a 9 Inch Nails as well, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
But because I know David Fincher works a lot with like Atticus Ross and stuff like that in regards to the soundtrack for some of his movies. I know Gone Girl was done by Atticus Ross. And what's the other guy?
Trent Reznor.
I think it's either that or Trent Reznor. I don't know. They're well into movie music nowadays. But I was like under the impression that it was actually them who'd done the music for this. But it's not. It's Howard Shore, the guy who did Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I read that not so long ago.
Yeah. But it surprised me when I watched it again. I was like, oh, I never knew that.
Well, because there's the soundtrack, which is like the music brought in externally, and then there's the score, which is the music created for the scenes, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So he'll have done the score, did he?
Well, yeah, and then they've brought in the 9 Inch Nails music to emphasise
like
certain parts
atmosphere and stuff like that.
Yeah, mainly the credits. And
It's wild to think, because Peter Jackson saw Seven and went, "This is the guy I need to do Lord of the Rings."
He must have been doing other
because
stuff.
this only came out probably
about 4 years,
4 or 5 years. I mean, they'll have been in pre-production, but I would have thought.
Well, they'll have been filming Lord of the Rings for a while before it came out, because they filmed all 3 at the same time, didn't they? But it was 2001 when Lord of the Rings came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, they might have been already into it. I'd imagine the preparation was already into Lord of the Rings when they were doing Frighteners.
Frighteners is a good movie, but we'll talk about that another time. It's a belter, actually.
Yeah. Do you know, one of the things with this particular film, I think why obviously another director would look and go, you know, that is a fantastic film, is because there are so many scenes in this film that are literally, like you see it, there's not a lot of dialogue in some of the scenes. And first of all, it's like a snapshot of a crime scene, and it just focuses in on small elements around the crime scene, and it allows the viewer to actually form their own opinion about what they're seeing. But it's also intriguing.
Well, I'll give you that, like, because when you do see some crime scenes, especially with the gluttony, it's more like it's focusing. You see Mills and Somerset via something that's on a bench. So, like, there could be a jar on a bench. Sorry, there could be a jar on the bench. I was moving away from the mic there, trying to visualize in front of us what I'm trying to explain. So there's like a jar on the bench, and you can see the jar on the bench out of focus, but then you're focused on them in the background type of thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of showing. You're not on eye level with them. You're kind of almost looking up at them most of the time.
Yeah, it's basically like this thing in front of you is part of a clue, but what they're doing is they're missing it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's out of shot or it's out of focus. But the other stuff is as well. It's like where there's a crime scene and there's like 1,000 car freshener trees.
Magic trees.
Oh, yeah. This is the sloth one, is it?
Yeah.
Is it sloth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a scene where obviously there's a murder being committed, And
but
that's what you that's the initial where we were led to believe.
He's not dead.
I know that freaked the hell out of me. Can't lie, Martin. Needed to change me shorts.
That's the biggest jump scare in the film.
You're such a wimp. There's no jumpy about this movie.
But what I thought was really good in where you were talking about the opening scenes, and the directors are supposed to show don't tell. And you can see that Detective Somerset is a meticulous man, and he cares more about like the bigger picture than the other detectives. So when he goes to that first crime scene, he's investigating. He goes, "What did the kid see? Is the kid okay?" And the other guy's like, "We don't give a shit about the kid. Why are you bothered about the kid?" Somerset, and
we'll all be glad to see you gone.
Yeah, we'll be glad to see you gone. So then, without seeing, you go, "Oh well, we know this guy's retiring." And he's not really highly regarded by other people because he spends too much time on the details. But this is going to be the crime where all the details are important. So it's a crime made for this detective to solve, and you find that out in the first 15 minutes of the film. It's great.
So yeah, you're right. Obviously, that initial scene, you know that Somerset is more about the details and more about the bigger picture rather than just trying to being a quick solve type of thing.
Yeah,
you can assume that his case files are the most well put together. Years down the line when something needs to be looked at from an old file, his will have all the stuff in it and all the other detectives will be like scrambling around trying to remember something that happened, 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
When it comes to this movie as well, obviously it's once the credits have started, once the opening credits have are done, it goes to Monday. So the film's actually started on a Sunday. Because that's Mill's day where he wakes up, he sees that murder scene, then he goes to sleep, and then it's Monday, and that's the start of the 7 days. Because on Monday we get our first killing, which is the gluttony one. Then we go to our Tuesday killing, which is the greed one, which they think are two different cases.
Yeah,
but then it comes to be that they're the same case when. I think they find something
They find plastic in the bloke's stomach.
And it turns out to be the lining of the floor where the fridge has been moved. So
the killer was laying clues.
Laying clues. Because this looked like two separate killings, but now we know that they're linked. God, those fireworks are really popping up.
And we're back. So we had to stop recording because the fireworks got a little bit too loud. So we went outside with some hot chocolate and we watched the fireworks display. Now we're back. So we're going to continue the conversation about Seven.
So the film goes on for 7 days. Obviously, there's going to be 7 murders based on the 7 deadly sins or killings. We're not going to go through them all because we'll probably.
We only get up to number 5.
We only really get up to number 5. Yeah, that's right before the big climax.
So what have we got? We've got gluttony, we've got greed, and then pride.
We'll go in order. So gluttony is the first guy that we find, the guy who's been fed to death.
Yeah,
and then we've got greed, which is that the lawyer who's the pound of flesh fella.
Yep.
And then we get sloth, which is the guy who's been tied to the bed for the year.
Oh, with the magic trees.
With the pine-scented car fresheners. I'm assuming they're pine-scented.
Christian Bale's greatest work yet.
Christian Bale's greatest work. Which is like, I remember that was probably for me personally, the biggest shock in the movie when we
really, Martin? Really, that was the biggest shock?
That is the biggest.
There was other things in this film that absolutely stunned me to my core.
They're not shock. They're not a shock, though. Like I'm talking about a jump scare. That was a bit of a jump scare. Like, oh bloody hell, he's still cocksucker's still alive. I think they say it in the movie.
Because don't they think that he's committed a crime?
Well, he's got a rap sheet as being a bit of a nonce.
He was a pederast. That's how they describe him.
A pederast.
A bit of a nonce, yeah. So they go in guns blazing with SWAT, thinking that this is their guy. In regards to they think he's the killer, but obviously he turns out that he's actually been tied to this bed for 1 year and is still alive. We go from there to, is it lust?
It might be lust or it might be pride.
Pride is on on the last day before the last two because John Doe still is covered in her blood.
Because it's a model, isn't it? He cuts off her nose.
Oh, you don't know if John Doe's covered in her blood?
Well,
that could be.
we find it out. We find it out in before they drive out to the desert, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Richard Roundtree, Shaft, tells us.
Shaft?
Oh, is it? Because he plays like the DA, doesn't he?
Oh.
There's like a guy who plays like the DA. That's played by Richard Roundtree. That's Shaft.
Shaft?
It's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Hey, I'm only talking about Shaft. So yeah, we probably come to the grimmest death in regards to After Sloth, which is Lust, which is a really grimy, horrible scene where
That they skip over pretty quick.
they don't really show a lot of it, but they don't need to show a lot. It's implied what's happened to this prostitute.
It's the weapon is shown.
The weapon is shown in regards to how this woman is being killed.
And your imagination is allowed to take control of your brain and literally, it's the worst possible depiction.
Well,
I think.
I think your imagination is worse than anything that could possibly show you in regards to that murder.
I don't know. I preferred my own imagination than rather than shoulders.
I can try to push it to the back of my head, but yeah, there's a particularly grimy murder where a woman who is a prostitute has been murdered by her
Client.
Her client, who was forced to wear basically a strap-on with a dagger at the end of it, and then has been forced to have sex with her, obviously killing her during the act. But we've missed something here, actually. Obviously, before, I think, after the sloth discovery, but before the lust discovery, they do some digging, do some detective work, and they go to the library and they utilise one of Somerset's connections in the FBI to go through library records in regards to the FBI tracking the books that people take out of the library.
Yep.
And that leads them to an apartment rented by someone called Jonathan Doe. Mm-hmm. So flags are going off already because obviously we all know John Doe is just a pseudonym for someone who doesn't have a name.
Yeah, I mean, I like that scene because I thought that was really clever because, Morgan Freeman's given the explanation of if anybody goes and gets this book or this book or this book, we flag them and then and I think it was like
it's detective work, but it's also quite Orwellian.
Yeah.
Very Big Brother.
Yeah.
Do you think it's true?
I think it's totally true.
Yeah, it's got to be. It makes sense when you think about it. That's why it takes an arm and a leg to get a library card, doesn't it? I want your name, your address.
I mean, because now obviously we've got the internet, so that's a million times worse than.
Oh yeah, anything you look at on the internet's tracked anyway, so it doesn't matter what you do.
That's obviously why every phone comes with a phone contract, and you sign up to your name, your address, your IP address is signed to you.
I mean, for the kids out there who are listening, when this film came out, the internet was sort of like it hadn't even really kicked off.
We hadn't even had really good any search engines at the time. I think Google at the time in 1995 was just on the precipice.
If you wanted a search engine, you had to go into a library. That was it.
Yeah.
This is where your newspaper would have TV listings in it, so you could find out what was on the telly that night.
Yeah. And websites were only really accessible if you actually knew what the URL was, because no one was indexing mass pages on the internet.
Yeah, so, I remember the 90s.
Yep, so it was
1995 on the internet, you'd be up all night and you'd only see half a boob.
Wow.
So yeah, they go to this Jonathan Doe's apartment, and then basically it turns out that this is the killer's apartment. He's not in, but he comes home with his bag of groceries, sees them, and starts popping shots, and starts off a pretty exciting sort of chase / gunfight sequence. Now there's a bit in this chase where Brad Pitt's like running over cars, and during the filming one of those scenes he fell and cut his arm really bad, but continued on with the scene. So at some point you see him like holding his arm and stuff like that. He cut his arm to the bone, like went through tendons and all kinds of stuff, but didn't tell anyone until the scene is finished. Yeah. And So for the rest of the movie, and for some of the earlier scenes which they hadn't filmed yet, his arm is out of shot because it's literally bandaged up and in a cast. And I think they went back and filmed a scene when he fell off the fire escape to show him like hurting his arm to
warrant
this cast that he'd have for the rest of the movie. Bad thing is though, they never used that take.
Wow.
So the take where he cut his arm, they scrapped it anyway because it didn't work.
That was solid gold.
It was solid gold.
There's a nice thing about when Brad Pitt was getting his acting career going. He was either a waiter or something like that in like a really crappy film at the time, and it had Bruce Willis in, I think. And it was a case of like he wanted to sort of like showcase his acting skills and try and get. And he says he would always try and get an extra line in. And apparently he did it when Bruce Willis was on. He says didn't go down well. Did not go down well at all.
So he went off script basically and interrupted the scene. What movie was that? Were they in together? I'm trying to think.
No Way Around was the film he was in with Bruce Willis, where he was an extra.
I don't remember that.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, same, totally.
He's credited as party guest, brackets, uncredited. So he never even got his name in.
Yeah, he obviously continued on the same. I suppose he ad-libbed, even though, you know, he probably should have stopped because he...
Oh, I know what the story now. He was trying to get some words in because he needed it to get his...
that was it.
His Screen
Screen
Actors Guild card.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and that's a funny thing.
And you can't get proper work until you've got your card, and you can't get your card until you said some lines on screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a catch-22 now, isn't it?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Well done, dude.
I like the cinematography and how balanced everything looks. Fight Club's got the same feel as Seven, and the very first scene of Mindhunter, when you see the agent's apartment, everything's immaculate. The lighting's, I don't know, it's difficult to describe, but it's the colours and the ambience, and
it's kind of muted colours, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's well staged scenes, but nothing's like there's no like friggin' neon all over the place or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a muted, almost like
Dirty
dreary
grit.
and a bit of gritty environment.
There's parts of it where it's almost like film noir, like
Yeah.
and then there's other parts where they're out in the desert, where
It's
it's
like
bright sunshine and all the rest of it.
Well, that's the last day is the contrast, isn't it? So if we go like in regards to the 7 days of the movie, it rains every single day up until Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday is when
you're brought into the light.
So Saturday they've killed the prostitute with the knife dildo, knife strap on.
Good luck editing this, though.
Oh dear me!
It is what it is. So Saturday they've
We're gonna have to have a parental warning on this episode or something.
We've had parental warnings on every single one of these things. You can't watch it if you're a kid.
Listen.
We're not making this for kids. Bollocks them. So yeah. So Saturday comes along, and this is when they, as we've already discussed, this is when they find the prostitute who's been killed by the client by having their.
Do we have to keep talking about it?
Yes. Then we have that interrogation scene with the world's most nervous actor, who's nervous in everything I've seen him in.
He's always good.
He's always good.
He's really good. But the thing is, I always think of him like he is literally a drip personified.
Just about the actor. He always plays sweaty.
He does.
He always
He plays sweaty well. There's an episode of Star Trek Voyager that he's in where he plays a paranoid hologram.
Yeah,
and
even as a hologram, he was sweaty.
Even as a hologram, he was absolutely paranoid and shaking and like a shit and whippet.
I wonder if you can just like turn that on like a tap, just like instant sweat. Check this out.
Do you know when he goes for these interviews? There must just be like a filing cabinet somewhere. We need someone to play nervous and find all the
he's
actors.
top of the pile.
Yeah, he's like top of the pile because everything he is in, he's either playing a nervous style character.
Leland Orser.
Leland Orser.
Yep, credited as Crazy Man in Massage Parlour. Oh, sorry, crazed man in massage parlour.
Massage parlour, is that what they call in that place?
Yeah.
Where they rent rooms by the hour. So we've had that unfortunate incident, and then the next day, the next morning, we then find the Pride victim, who's been a model who has been given a choice to phone the police to save herself, but she'll be disfigured by having her nose cut off, or she's had a phone glued to one hand and she's had basically a bottle of pills so she can kill herself glued to the other one, and that's the choice the killer gives her: kill yourself
Or save yourself.
or save yourself. And I think she tries to save herself. She gets her nose cut off, but then I think she kills herself because she can't live with the fact that she's been disfigured.
Yeah.
So this is now Sunday.
Such a grim film.
It's a grim film. This is now Sunday, and they're going back to the police station, and this is the first time through this entire movie the rain stops and the sun comes out, and so you've gone from this totally grey movie to all of a sudden being like really bright yellow sun. And at this point, this is where
The killer turns up.
the killer turns up and just hands himself into police.
Detective.
Yeah, that's a great scene there, because you can hear them talking. This whole scene's happening through this lobby of this police station, which is a huge lobby. It must have been filmed at a train station or something like that. But they're talking to each other. They're talking to the police, the person on the police officer on the front desk. Get an answering machine. I'm not here to take your wife's messages or something like that. And as all this conversation's going on and they're walking through, you can just hear in the background someone going, "Detective, detective," and the conversation's going on, and then all of a sudden you just hear, "Detective," like that. And then everyone just goes, "What the hell?" and turns around. And then there is John Doe, played by Kevin Spacey, who no one knew was in the movie.
He comes across as the most evilest person in that film, and it probably hasn't done his street credit any good since.
Do you know why he comes across as evil in that? He's just so calm.
Yeah.
He's not phased. He's not
Well,
he's not sweating. His pulse isn't elevated. He's just chilled. This is the next logical step for him to complete his goal, his master plan, and that's just the way it is. He's just got to hand himself into police. So they then arrest him. He's covered in blood.
This is one of these things where this type of acting as well, where he's calm and he's all the rest of it. But if you listen to Anthony Hopkins, he said how he personified evil was be very polite, very nice, very calm. He says, and that's how I did it. And I heard that interview a few weeks prior, and when I watched this, I thought he's got a very similar stance about how he comes across in this film, because he is very much, obviously, when he doesn't get heard, that makes the character go mental. When he's not got the focus on, they're not looking at me.
But then he's instantly calm again. So I think it's more like he is still calm. Even though he screams.
Yeah.
But that's only because he needs to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get arrested anyway. He could have been arrested by anyone because he's covered in blood in the middle of a police station. Yeah. But he wants them to notice him.
Yeah.
So then they arrest him, and at that point, they interview him. He's covered in blood, and they find, is it 3 different people's blood on him? They find his own blood. They find the model's blood, and they find a third, as yet unidentified. He makes a deal with them. He says that there are 2 more victims. There's only 1 so far. And but the police don't know this. And the lawyers, the slimy lawyer comes in and says, I can get him off because he's clearly insane. So take the deal and he'll admit to everything and go to jail for the rest of his life, type of thing. So they agree to it, and they drive out to this location that he wants them to go, which is this location in the desert amongst all these like electricity pylons.
He knew though. I think his initial plan. He had a plan all along, and his plan was never to go to jail.
Yeah, that's right.
His plan did change because he explains it. When they go to his apartment and when they have this little run and gun battle thing, he phones them in the apartment when they're searching it, and basically says that, well, I didn't expect you to show up. I'll have to sort of expedite things and move things along. I'll be in touch, type of thing.
But he didn't say changed his physical plan. He like, that was one of the things. It was like, you'd have to.
No, I think this whole thing with what happens next is total like Hail Mary move to finish his plan.
I don't think so, because he already taken an interest in the detective because he was photographing them
on the stairwell
stairs.
of.
Was
it the lawyer?
It was one of the first or the second murders.
It was the one with the pine trees in the cylinder.
Oh, sloth. Yes,
Yeah.
You're right.
And they basically, obviously, when you got a little bit more backstory on that as well, because basically it was like, well, how on earth did he find out so fast, pretending to be a reporter, and basically, I think it was Morgan Freeman turned around to the woman and said, well, at the end of the day, he says, the cops, that's how we tip them off, they pay the cops, they pay well. So you already knew like there was levels of corruption in all of this before.
I think that's the only actually bad part of the movie. Well, not bad, but it's like
you needed
done
a name.
sloppily.
Yeah.
Because what they should have done was, rather than have one photographer and make a big deal about it, because they instantly go, well, it's a bit weird.
But I remember watching it the first time, and I never clicked on until you looked in that bathtub and saw them pictures.
But it is Kevin Spacey's voice.
Well, yeah, but you never know Kevin Spacey's in the movie.
And you don't see his face as a photographer because he's got the camera up to his face.
And he's obviously got a wig on and all that. But now when you watch it back, you go, that is done so bad. What they should have done is, they should have had the doors fly open and a load of press.
But it wasn't just...
like a load of press from different, like loads of cameras going off. And you would have been completely lost.
The bit that raised a red flag for me was the fact that he turned around and goes, you want my name? This is my name. And he screamed it down the flight of stairs and told him his name and who he was and all the rest of it. And he was like, yeah.
I'm surprised you could spell.
Yeah, that was the line, wasn't it?
So yeah, they then go out to the desert, thinking that they're going to be shown where these two final victims are, but there's nothing out there. And then all of a sudden, a van starts coming.
Is it a Hermes van or something?
So it's a
Yodel, always late.
Yeah, it was. It was a couple of minutes late, wasn't it? So this van starts coming over. So Somerset goes off to intercept the van, and there's a box in the van. He opens the box and is shocked to see what's in it, and starts running back. And he's shouting, "Throw down your gun!" Like that. And he says, like, tells everyone to stay away. John Doe's got the upper hand, and then begins this, because you're not 100% sure what's in that box, but then
It ain't a cake.
It ain't a cake, and then John Doe starts talking to Mills about how he admires him and his pretty wife Tracy.
Yeah, and his perfect life. He's got his beautiful wife, and he goes, "This is what my sin is." Envy.
So he needs to die because envy is his sin, and he wants Mills to become Wrath, to kill him where Tracy has died for his sin, completing his masterpiece, and that'll be the 7 deaths. And then begins this moment of almost denial. He goes through the seven stages of grief. He's denying. He's coming to terms with it.
And he wasn't going to do it, but he pushed him too far.
But then, and he's like, John Doe wants Mills to kill him. And there's a whole subplot about Tracy being pregnant, which Mills didn't know about. But then John Doe lets slip that she was pregnant because she begged for the life of the child before she was murdered. And that also helped push him over the edge. And then just before Mills snaps.
You've got that line as well.
Which line?
What's in the box?
Oh, yeah. What's in the box? That's been shouted loads of times and it's been memed loads of times.
The box is addressed to Mills. You got to remember this.
Yeah.
You know who that box is for, and when, they go over and he goes...
Or Somerset opens it.
Somerset goes and looks in the box, I think it takes an awfully long time for him to work out what he's staring at.
It doesn't take him any time at all to see what he's staring at.
Well, I think
it's a head in the box.
He goes, jumps up, and you wouldn't just turn around and go, "Oh, hey, it's your wife's head." You know?
No.
Because he does actually say, so I took her pretty head.
Yeah, I saw a souvenir, her pretty head. At the moment, you think he's not going to do it. There's a flash of Tracy's, maybe one single frame. If you look closely, it just flashes Tracy's face up on the screen for about a fraction of a second, 1 or 2 frames, and at that point, Mills looks at the camera, and you know that this is.
Well, Morgan Freeman lets you know, because as soon as he starts going on about the baby, Morgan Freeman goes, "Oh God!"
Well, he slaps him, doesn't he?
He's dead.
But he's gonna kill him. But he, I think when you look at Morgan Freeman, he kind of walks. The character walks away.
Well,
and
Morgan Freeman is
just
trying to tell him, "You'll kill a witness. If you kill him, you will win." That's what he says. If you kill him, he will win.
Yeah.
But anyway, he loses it. He walks towards him, and in a wide shot, you see him pull the trigger, and then John Doe goes, and there's like a blood mist comes out for a fraction of a second. He goes to the floor, and he continues to shoot him about 5 more times. And at that point, it skips forwards a little bit. Mills is in the back of a police car, and it ends as grimly as it starts, with Somerset just being kind of resigned to the fact that he's going to go to work again tomorrow, and he's not retiring, because
Credits roll.
they ask, the police captain says, "Where will you be?" "Around."
Yeah.
And that's like, "I'll be around." That's it. And then there's a little bit of a quote from Ernest Hemingway at the end, and then it just ends. That's it. And the bad guy won.
So what's everybody think about this film? I think the best part and the worst part of this film, for me, was how well it was structured, I think, in all honesty. The worst part of this film was, I wish you never, ever asked me to watch it. This is one of these movies where you sit and you think, I'll be having flashbacks on this film for a while. I'm not heavily into horror films, and I think, yeah...
I wouldn't even consider this a horror.
I don't think it is a horror. I think it's a...
It's walk in the park for you this morning, isn't it?
It's a walk in the park.
I don't do very well with sort of like psychological mind bend.
One day I'm going to make you watch something for this podcast you're going to regret the rest of your life.
I'll be a jittering wreck. But no, I think the way in which the story was framed and how everything was laid out was really, really good. Had some amazingly good actors in as well. For the time, it had the carrot on the top, and honestly, it was a bit like it stood the length of time, because you can pick it up today and watch it, and if you do enjoy that sort of thing, you could really, it's a good film. It's not dated, hasn't dated. Anyone agree?
No, it hasn't. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And it hasn't dated for the very reason of it solely focuses on the murders, the case, the solving it. And even though they talk about going to the library and looking at stuff like that,
they're doing it for the case, though.
Yeah, but it even like stuff like that, and you think, well, nowadays you would be like on the internet. Can you imagine?
Yeah, if they'd gone
that would be like today, it would be crazy.
If they'd gone to an internet cafe, it would have dated it.
Yeah.
But libraries are pretty timeless, aren't they?
Yeah. So I think, yeah.
So I think this is a top tier movie. I think it's solid. 8, 9 out of 10.
Yep.
My favorite part of the whole movie is the tone of the movie. It's grim, it's hot, it doesn't let up on it either. There's very few moments of levity for the audience here. Mm-hmm. It's a horrible city filled with horrible people, and crime is all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's a Gotham, but 10 times worse.
Yeah.
The only sort of weak part I feel is I think at times it can slow down a little bit, but I think you need that sometimes to get away from the grimness of it all. So there's like some moments where he goes to the library and they play a little classical music over it. There's nothing wrong with that scene, but I do feel it's a little bit on the slow side. But I think it actually helps the audience with a bit of like,
Jeez, what have I just seen?
A little bit of peace actually, because this is grim.
Yeah.
Well, you need a bit of exposition for allow them to explain how they're going to solve who the killer is or how they're on the killer's trail.
And there was where Somerset goes to Mills's house as well for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But even in that scene, after they've had the dinner, they've literally got the case file out on the coffee table.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up at one point because they've been talking and she's fallen asleep, and then she goes out and they've gone because they've gone to interview the widow of the lawyer because they've thought about something. So the case never stops.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the best things is the tone of the film and the atmosphere, and that's like a character in itself. All the people who worked on this film did a really good job making a really believable city of no name. And when you mentioned Gotham there, I think that's bang on. It's like Gotham without Batman. And the last Batman film, the Robert Pattinson one, is like Seven without all of the horrendous murders. It feels very, very similar in tone, because it was like a really, really good detective film.
It was a solid detective movie. I didn't even mind it was 3 hours long.
No, I didn't either. And I didn't mind Robert Pattinson. I thought it was a very, very good Batman. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I think that's the definite strength of the film and the way it's being shot. And you've got how many characters? Like less than 10 to know?
There's not many in it. I mean, you got two main characters. He's Tracy, the captain, at times, and then realistically John Doe at the end.
John Doe.
The only other characters really realistically in it are the dead buddies.
And I don't think you get to know their names, do you? They never really.
No, you only it's Fat Man. You know the name of the lawyer, Eli Gould or something like that. Actually, they do say the names of these people because the sloth guy had a case file. I don't think you ever find out the name of the prostitute because she's just known as the blonde in the pictures. I don't think we hear the name of the model, and we never know John Doe's real name. There's no record of him from five. They say at the end,
But
there's no record of him from about 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
So,
They did say that when they walked into and found his room, they said he'd been diarying all his thoughts for years, and they said it would take us years and weeks to work through all this stuff. So he made it a nightmare for them to actually work out what they.
I don't even know if
was.
they would, because he's been cutting his fingerprints off for years as well.
And talking about like all of his journals and all that, I like the part where where Somerset's reading part of his journal and he's talking about being on the bus
And throwing up over someone.
and throwing up on someone, then just laughing uncontrollably. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. Like, and it gives you a little bit of an insight into who this person is. And I mean, like some of the stuff that's happening in the world now, you're going, you know, I can believe that somebody like this walks around, which is what makes it scary. It's someone who's just going around the day to day, seems like a normal person, and then behind the scenes, absolute psychopath, murdering people in loads of creative ways.
It's what they say about cashiers, isn't it? Like in America, they say like, you know, you'll meet loads of cashiers in America. So, you know,
Cashiers?
It's not the person that shouts at the cash desk, and it's abusing the cashier.
to be
gotta
afraid
worry
of.
about.
That's not the person you've got to be afraid of, because they're letting all their anger out. It's the cashier that sits there for 50 years and takes it, and then one day they walk into work with a gun and kill everybody.
Yeah, you're right. And he wanted to be heard in the police station. As you were saying, he was just like, "Oh, detective," until he started shouting. And was that him losing control to?
Or was that just him wanting to be heard?
Or is it just him wanting to be heard? And he spent all of his time being very, very quiet, documenting all of his neat little details. And I mean, like, and all of that. Because there is no character development for that person, for the murderer. He is just the murderer, and you find out everything you know about him when Somerset finds out.
Yeah.
Like, there's no flashbacks of like to like you know, an abusive childhood or anything like that. It's just he just exists, and the only thing that shows you what kind of person he was is all documented in
His journals.
in these little journals, and you get you get a sneak into those little journals in the title credits, but you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
When they're being shown to you at the very, very beginning, and you've watched him make those journals.
You didn't know what it was at the time.
But you didn't know what that was when it was presented to you. And then eventually when you do find out, and Somerset's reading all these things, it fleshes him out without having to get a backstory, because he doesn't really explain anything about himself when he's interviewed, does he?
We don't know anything about him, and we never ever find out anything about him.
He's just like a force of nature, just something that's just happening. And that's like that. I think that was one of the most impressive things about the film. The thing I didn't like about the film is how it made us feel.
I think that's,
but that says a lot about how good the film is, because, you know, objectively, I couldn't say anything wrong with the film, except that it's a grim story that's not intended to make you feel good at all. But human nature being what it is, you want to see all these grimy details. It's like podcasts about real killings and serial killers are like the highest rated podcasts, and they're usually all the biggest subscribers are women.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't mind a murder documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like it's like
morbid curiosity,
morbid curiosity, and finding out about like the depths of depravity that humans can get up to, and knowing that kind of exists. But when that film's on, you're going, bloody hell! It's like looking at, it's like driving past a car crash and seeing if you can see anything. That's what this film is. Mm-hmm. It's driving past something it's driving past something really, really horrendous, and how bad can it be? And you looking at it and going, "Oh God, that was terrible." And I think it's an evolution thing. That,
David.
Yep, near perfect movie. It's what keeps you interested is the murder mystery, how these things are happening, and why are these things happening, and of the following of all the clues. It just keeps you interested throughout the entire movie, and then it just starts to get really grim, and then you've got the twist at the end with the guy showing up, like sort of like unannounced at the police station that you're not expecting. It's really good. 5 out of 5 stars. Would recommend.
Perfect.
Don't watch it with your mum.
I wouldn't watch this one with your grandma. Like, it's not exactly,
it's first date stuff. This, like, isn't it?
Exactly.
I wouldn't even take a last on a first date to say this. Christ Almighty.
What did you watch? What did you watch at the cinema with your new boyfriend? 7. We're not going out for a second date.
So, yeah, near perfect. Great film. We all agree. Yep. Apart from Adam, who's scarred by it, even though it's quite light, I think, in regards to the psychological horror genre.
Messed me up, man.
No, man, you've not lived. I've watched movies that I'm pretty confident have harmed my soul.
Right? I don't want to go that far into the film genres.
I watch all kinds of stuff like that.
I'm well aware of that, man.
All kinds.
What are we watching next?
Well, the next one we've got at the cinema is The Running Man.
Yep.
Now, are we going to do a podcast on that? We're going to do a podcast on Back to the Future next. We don't have to do either.
Because I mean, we can talk about The Running Man at the beginning of the next podcast.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then we can compare and contrast to the original. To be honest, I would like to do a whole episode for Back to the Future. Like,
let's do it then.
I don't know about. Do you want to do that one as the next one, or do you want to pick another film?
Why don't we do? If we go for 90s, or like a really big, because we can talk about niche movies.
Well, people at work were talking about. They went, "Oh, if you do like 90s films, you should do Jurassic Park."
I was just about to say Jurassic Park.
We could do. It's another good one.
As good as it gets. I love as good as it gets.
Jack Nicholson. I haven't seen that in years, actually.
I'd be the luckiest man in the world if I did that.
Hey.
What are we going to do then?
Well, I think Jurassic Park would be a good one because it's one of the biggest movies of the 90s.
Yes.
and there's a lot of talk about it. There's the CG. I mean, it was like a groundbreaking film. All the acting was really good. There was balls ups in it. You can see the puppeteers. There's other stuff to talk about with that kind of stuff. And
agreed. So, after much deliberation, which will be edited out of the final cut,
has been edited,
we have settled on 1993's Jurassic Park. I think it's 1993. But yeah, that's what we'll be talking about on our next podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please remember to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I've been Martin.
I'm Luke.
I'm David.
I am still Adam.
Ta-ra.
Bye. Peace out.